Zora Neale Hurston is an American writer who is famous for her storytelling abilities and her recordings of cultural history and racial struggles. She wrote about African American culture and opened people's eyes to the reality of their experiences. Hurston was born on January 7, 1891, in Notasulga, Alabama. Both of her parents were formerly enslaved, and her mom died when she was only 13. She had to work many jobs to pay for college, and she earned an associate degree from Howard University because one of her works was published in the university's newspaper. She soon moved to New York City's Harlem neighborhood, where she met Langston Hughes and County Cullen, who helped her launch a literary magazine called Fire, which discontinued after the headquarters burned down. She became known by the public because of her short story Sweat in 1926 and her autobiographical essay How It Feels to Be a Colored Me in 1928. In 1934, she published her novel Jonah's Gourdvine, which was about the African American experience in a man's perspective. She collected African American folk tales in the late 1920s in Florida, which were published in 1935 in a collection titled Mules and Men. Hurston struggled in her last few years, and although she continued writing, she had difficulty getting her work published. A few years later, Hurston was living in the St. Lucie County welfare home, and she died impoverished and alone on January 28, 1960, and was buried in an unmarked grave in Florida. Almost a decade after her death, Alice Walker, an American writer, wrote about Hurston in the essay In Search of Zora Neale Hurston, published in 1975. This introduced Hurston's writing to a whole new set of readers, and led to publishers reprinting her novels and her other writings. And Alice Walker even created an inscription for Hurston's grave. Zora Neale Hurston was an accomplished and talented writer who inspired so many people in her lifetime and continues to today.